Thank you very much. I've been nominated to start. So it's a great pleasure to be here, and sort of huge compliment to the organisers. We'll be speaking about the importance of trade internationally, and this event is just such a testament to the importance and the professionalism and the ambition of the government of Belize. So it's a great pleasure to be here today. We have decided to go against the organisers' instructions. They've given us a strict order in which to ask the questions, but we're actually going to ask each other 2 questions at a time, and so we can give our responses all at once.
So I'll start with Alistair, because this is a peer-to-peer question flow. So, Alistair, the UK has historic and cultural ties with Belize. How can these connections evolve into stronger trade and investment opportunities in today's global economy? That's my question.
And hello, everyone. I'm Catherine Beamer, the new chargé at the U.S. Embassy. Great to be with all of you. Alistair, with the UK's renewed global trade focus post-Brexit, where do you see the most immediate opportunities for Belize to expand its reach into the UK and European markets?
Thank you. I think, starting with the cultural historical links here, I think in the last 12 months, trade between Belize and the UK has been £117 million, which is about 320 million Belize, which I think is a great demonstration that the gravity model of trade doesn't always hold. We're 5,000 miles away, yet we're still incredibly strong trading partners. About 40 million UK pounds of that was exports from the UK here to Belize, which means, if you're good at maths, £77 million worth of exports from Belize in a 12-month period, and that's a 20% increase on the year before. So our historical and cultural ties are clearly having a great impact in our trading relationship. And of course, we're able to benefit from our shared language, which is a huge benefit. We're able to benefit from familiar structures and governance and processes, which means that UK investors to Belize find it a welcome and accommodating environment. And we're also, of course, working with a long-established, and as the Honourable Prime Minister was saying in his opening speech, a stable democracy, really strong beliefs in the rule of law, and we have lots of shared values along the lines of our commitment to climate. It's one of our UK's absolute #1 priorities. And similar to, as Minister Fonseca was saying yesterday, saying that his high commissioners and his ambassadors are being sent out around the world to focus on growth and trade. That is my #1 foreign policy priority as mandated by the British government. And so usually I would sit here and just say, this is how great the UK is, come to the UK. But there is the other side of it too. And so I think what we want to do is continue to strengthen our people-to-people links. We've heard how important, and we'll be hearing again later how important the diaspora is. We've got brilliant Belizeans. We have many Belizeans who've been educated in the UK. Our cultural links, our educational links are translating into trade and economic links. So I'm hoping that we can continue to sort of build and capitalise on that. I don't want to steal everyone's time. On the question of the UK's new approach to trade post-Brexit, I would quickly just challenge the premise of the question. We've always been a very big trading country, and Brexit has just changed the mechanisms through which we're having to do that. And there's and so how can our UK change in mechanism and approach benefit here in Belize? Well, I think almost #1, we heard a great presentation from my EU colleague earlier about the Economic Partnership Agreement. Of course, the UK has Economic Partnership Agreement with the CARIFORUM. Belize has an unimprovable offer from that. It is 0 tariffs, 0 quotas. and that unimprovable offer for nearly all goods. This is a big deal. And so as we're talking about the importance of MSMEs here, what can we do to make sure that Belizean businesses are fully able to understand how to use these trading opportunities, and also how can we strengthen, exporting into Europe and the UK. Sometimes particularly the quality standards hurdles can be quite difficult, and so the UK is also looking and has provided some technical assistance from our British Standards Institute to work with Belizean system, work with Belizean businesses to sort of improve some of the and smooth out some of the certification, quality, packaging, all of that kind of stuff you have to do to export into our market. And then I'm also, as a very personal priority here, we are trying to use UK sort of export and financing mechanisms more and better. You probably won't have heard of it, but you should have, British International Investments, which is our umbrella organisation to increase investment opportunity in the UK and other countries. UK Export Finance, which provides guarantees at far, far below commercial rates for for British companies looking to invest, de-risking that investment, and so hopefully encouraging greater entrepreneurialism, entering into new markets, so that we can start to build UK and Belize trade and investment. And then the final bit on that, what's next? Some of the immediate opportunities. Yes, there's when I talked about £77 million in exports from Belize to the UK, those of us in this room who know that that's largely sugar and bananas, but there are other sector opportunities which we're very interested in. And we talked also, and Honourable Karim Musa was saying this morning around some of those new growth industries, particularly seaweed, Cahoon. Let's see how we can get those greater access to the market. But then on the other side, the brilliant presentation on the renewal of the Port of Belize. These are opportunities for us as international investors to come here to Belize to provide maybe some technical work. As a fellow maritime nation, we built a few, and so that expertise still exists. So I think that's my response to your kind questions. And I think it's my turn to ask Lily the next question. So we're dispensing all the formalities with Excellencies today, because we're peers and friends. So, Lily, sorry, no, I was about to read you my question.
Maybe the right question, please.
I was about to say the UK has strong cultural roots. Taiwan has been a long-standing partner in Belize's development, from ICT and agriculture to infrastructure. Which areas of cooperation do you see as most critical for Belize's future competitiveness?
Excellency, Lily. Taiwan's experience in building a resilient economy despite global pressures is often cited as a model for the rest of the world. What lessons from Taiwan's growth story could Belize apply to strengthen its own economic resiliency?
Thank you for both questions. Exactly I prepare, but cheating. Okay, now, Taiwan is really honored to be a trusted development partner of Belize. And over the years, we've been working on various cooperation areas, like you said, infrastructure, agriculture, ICTs, and even trade, education, women's empowerment, just to name a few, right? We discuss with the government of Belize in what area we are going to work together. So they are all in line with the national development goals of the country. So I really think these are all critical to Belize's competitiveness. But let me share with you some of our underground observation. because you know we have technical missions on the ground working on these different. So I'm happy to report, you know, during these 2 days, I heard so many priorities, focus, and we have to do value addition, we have to focus on what we are good at, all those things, we sing it. And I can assure you, there's action on the ground. It's already happening. Take agriculture for, give yourself a round of applause. For example, agriculture. Belize produce good quality veggies and fruits, right? And we really hope that we can have not just hot pepper Marie shop, whenever you have tourists coming over to buy something, take home. How about we get something more? Like people in Taiwan, we have the pineapple cake. Whenever people go to Taiwan, they want to buy something and they bring home. Can we discover more with this good quality of pineapple, mango, so many good fruits here? Can we have some healthy fruit snacks with better processing, better packaging, better marketing? We can have some kind of made in Belize souvenir for the Belizean, for people who come to Belize to travel and want to bring something home, can have something, other variety of things. Those are our next new agricultural cooperation project together with Belize. So it's really excited to see so many people focusing on agro-processing. This morning, we have a wonderful panel talking about that. And we do need public-private cooperation on that. Talking about value added, there's another wonderful story about cacao. You have good quality of cacao, the best in the region. But the other day, the embassy got a request that from South, they say, we have 22 tons of cacao, raw cacao, we want to ship it. Can you find a buyer in Taiwan? We asked around, but the buyer in Taiwan said, we don't have the processing capacity to process such a big amount of cacao. If you can separate them, do some preliminary processing, separate it into cacao oil and cacao powder, that would add much more value to it. So value added is truly the key for competitiveness. These couple of days, we also heard a lot of, I'm so lucky that the opening of market to Belize shrimp just before the summit. So we got a lot of shout out during but truly and dearly, Belize shrimp industry got hit hard by disease a couple of years back. So the fact that it passed Taiwan's food quality control things and allowed the shrimp imported to Taiwan is a big vote of confidence to this industry. And right after the opening, already a big business delegation coming. You know, they are not just here because of the zero tariff shrimp to buy. Among them, they are equipment providers, they are smart aquaculture solution providers. They want to cooperate with the Belizean shrimp farmers and the companies. They want to help Belize to scale up if they want to expand. Now we have more market in place. It's a good incentivized way to help the smaller shrimp farms to scale up and maybe, of course, improve their competitiveness. Talking about Taiwan's growth story, many people have in mind probably the high-tech chip industry. Now, let's talk about, maybe you don't know, Taiwan also have traditional industry, but they've been transformed over the years. Textile. Decades ago, it's focused on raw material like cotton, and then it moved to artificial fabric. Then it moved to technical fabric. What's technical fabric? The World Cup national team wear the jerseys made from Taiwan companies' fabric made out of plastic bottles, high quality. So, and nowadays, they even moved to degradable material like pineapple leaves and banana stems. Those are tests driven by sustainability, right? And what makes this kind of innovation, what made this commercialized? You need to create an ecosystem. And I keep on hearing people talking about collaboration. You need an openness to collaboration because you need to scale up. Well, I have no doubt about Belizean people's innovation. They are everywhere, we can see. But the problem is to commercialize it, scale it up, and make it sellable on the market. You need a lot of collaboration. Government's good policy, government's transparent regulation, you need private sector's application and commercialize, but very importantly, also the research, academia's R&D, right? These need to be all working together to make it happen. So that's our growth story, but I see that here in Belize, it's also happening. This morning, we have a panel talking about from farm to, right, from the global feast. I was so excited to see on the platform, you have private sector, public sector, you have research, CARDI, and when they started that conversation, the collaboration started to emerge. And, well, Boing said, oh, I didn't know that CARDI has this kind of seed, and maybe we can work together. And they said, so this kind of spark, this kind of collaboration is exactly what we need, and this is exactly what this platform is all about. Thank you. Now, my turn to ask question? Yes, so sorry. Catherine, welcome to Belize. It's really, this is the real start of this panel because I'm the oldest faces here. But Alistair and Catherine, they are new. So that makes this panel most worthy to listen to. Now, Catherine, the US is Belize's largest trading partner. How can American businesses best leverage Belize's nearshore advantage to build mutually beneficial partnerships?
And from me, beyond trade, the US plays a significant role in regional security and development. How does this translate into long-term opportunities for Belize as both a partner and a bridge in the region?
Thank you so much. And it is really an honor to be here at the Belize Investment Summit representing the US. To answer your question about how can Belize make itself more attractive as a nearshoring destination, I think I've seen it firsthand. It's all about the location, right? Geography is something you can't change, and you are blessed as a country. You're both part of Central America and the SICA integration system. You're also a member of CARICOM. In my last 3 years, I was working as the director for the Caribbean at the State Department. So I'm very familiar with both of those organizations. And I think Belize has a very unique opportunity, not only because of its proximity to Guatemala and Mexico, but really as a cultural bridge. You have a multilingual, multi-ethnic population, and you're part of these two really important systems. So I think, and that's something that Professor Stein was talking about yesterday. I think that's a really important, just innate characteristic of Belize that you should continue to market and exploit. Tourism, of course, is Belize is the fastest growing market in the world, in the Caribbean, and Americans are taking full advantage of all that Belize has to offer. We are, most Americans live within a 4-hour flight of Belize. So again, your geography and the proximity to the United States is a huge key advantage. We're really excited about the various companies from the United States that are looking to invest in Belize, and the American tourists that are coming to take advantage of your beautiful nature. One, a key element that needs continued investment is certainly infrastructure, but it seems like the government has a serious plan for how to do that, and we're very much looking forward to partnering with the government of Belize. I think many of you have heard about our Millennium Challenge Corporation Compact. It's one of the few in the region, and we're going to be investing $125 million in Belize over the next 5 years.